Yeah, we're 4 races into the NASCAR season, and I'm here to tell you that Kyle Busch, he doesn't have a chance to win the 2024 championship. So let's talk about it here on Stuck in the Catch Fence. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for joining and actually clicking the thumbnail to watch this video. I know a lot of you get very, very upset and don't want to click things because you don't actually want to have a conversation. But the ones that do, I appreciate it. If you like what you hear, like, subscribe. This is a thought-provoking series, the Let's Talk About It. You can feel free to disagree. All I ask is you actually watch the video. It's like 10 minutes long, more often than not. But this Let's Talk About It is I'm here to tell you that Kyle Busch, in my opinion, doesn't have a chance to win the 2024 championship. And you're like, Ryan, it's 4 races in. First off, let me say this. Kyle Busch fan, okay? So this is coming from a Kyle Busch fan. This isn't just some guy, some hater that doesn't like Kyle Busch. I love Kyle Busch. I've been rooting for him for a very, very long time. But we have seen a consistent theme now with Richard Childress Racing. Their short track package is one of, if not the worst in all of NASCAR. It is simply deplorable. And I wanted to have hope. I wanted to be able to tell you guys that I believe that he will be able to just find a way. It's Kyle effing Busch, for God's sakes. He'll find a way to be better than what the product is for Richard Childress Racing. But I can't do it. I simply can't do it. I just don't believe it's going to happen. Kyle Busch is really, really good, but he's not as good as Richard Childress Racing's short track package is terrible. And it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating that we're seeing a guy in his late 30s who should be winning championships, who's out driving the car when he's not speeding on pit road, that is. He's out driving the equipment. And on short track packages, we don't have a chance. Oh, and by the way, you want to know where the championship race is held? On a short track. It's mind blowing. It just completely infuriates me. And I'll be honest, I'll be the first person here. Kyle Busch has changed. He's had a different demeanor. We fought all day. We turned this car around 3 different times. Had 3 different cars. We're gonna keep on fighting. That's not the Kyle Busch that I know when he gets 22nd place with a dog shit car. That's not the Kyle Busch I know. And maybe it is good now that he's not the villain. I don't know. I just want the guy to win races. I thought when he went to Richard Childress Racing after 1 year, I was willing to give it a year, that we would see market improvement. Last year at Phoenix, he got 8th. And then that short track package at the second half of the season just kept going worse and worse and worse. 34th in practice here at Phoenix. 31st in qualifying at Phoenix. And then finishes in the 20s. Does not sniff the top 15. God forbid a top 10, the top 15. And it's a trend. I mean, it's a trend. Last year, looking at his other short track finishes, he got 14th in the spring race at Richmond, 21st at Martinsville in the spring. I was there. He was getting lapped under green flag conditions. 20th at Bristol, the place that he dominates. They literally should have a tower where a grandstand for Kyle Busch when he retires. And he got 20th. Never was a factor. And then 27th at Martinsville in the fall. Oh, and if you want to cap it all off, he ended up getting 25th in the championship race. Right, it doesn't mean nothing. I know it doesn't mean nothing then. But I need something to tell me that he's got a better chance than not. And what hope do we have? What promise do we have that something's going to change? Kyle Busch is really damn good. He's still got a chance to win championships based on his talent. He is not older than his talent. He's not over the hill yet. Does he make mistakes more than we've ever seen? Absolutely. But he's probably trying to outdrive equipment that he's not used to driving with. At Joe Gibbs Racing, he could have been Christopher Bell this past week. I don't think anybody would have been surprised by that. I don't think anybody was surprised when he dominated WWT. He has that ability. But the move to Richard Childress Racing, to me, as long as Phoenix is the championship race, he doesn't stand a chance. Unless something dramatically changes. Like something out of nowhere. Like, fans root for Bubba Wallace. Change. That sounds drastic. That sounds a little hyperbolic. But I honestly believe it. I have nothing that says otherwise. Yeah, maybe Randall Burnett will find a way to get him good enough track position and he lucks his way into a top 10. I would love that. I'd be the first one to see it here and go, you know what, I was wrong. You know, they were able to turn it around. They turned it around a lot faster than I thought they would. Don't see it happening. We knew what we were giving up leaving Joe Gibbs Racing. I think we underestimated it. I think we underestimated what exactly Kyle Busch had to drive. We didn't underestimate Kyle Busch. We knew Kyle Busch was driven. We knew Kyle Busch was talented. We knew that he still had plenty left in the tank. But the consistency that Kyle was given at Joe Gibbs Racing with the vehicles that he was given, maybe not like the last 2 years, and maybe it was just head games. I don't know. We can speculate that on all day long. But man, this is tough. It's tough knowing that because the race is at Phoenix, he essentially has a non-0% chance to win a championship. I don't think he's going to get lucky enough if he makes it to the Final Four that he just find that they just discover something in the middle of the year. I mean, you're talking, it's not just him. I mean, we could go on another tangent with his teammate Austin Dillon, if that's actually, you know, a teammate, a guy that nonstop wrecks. And listen, I know he has horrific luck. I'll be the first one to tell you, horrific luck. A lot of things that happened to Austin Dillon, he has no control over, at least this year and a large majority of last year. Do I think he's talented by any means? No. He's definitely not, you know, a top 15 driver in this sport. But by God, he's not as bad as he has been. But the small sample size that we've seen out of Austin Dillon haven't been good either. When it comes to short tracks, you know, you can't say it's just, oh, maybe it's just Kyle. He don't have this car figured out. It's the next gen car. He doesn't have it figured out on short tracks. Don't believe that. Same package ran for the road course. When it comes from an aerodynamic standpoint, ain't that. Just straight up garbage on short tracks. The only positive news we have is that Jordan Bianchi's saying that, without it being said, that we might be going back to Homestead. And if they go back to Homestead, Kyle Busch can find himself in the championship 4, meaning he'll probably have to build up points because Phoenix will probably be the elimination race for the Final 4. Kyle has a shot to win another championship, to win a 3rd championship. To me, 3 championships is like 2's good. 2's good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to be the guy that sits here and says that 2 championships isn't an amazing accomplishment. And to today's NASCAR, it absolutely is. With how competitive it is. 0.6 of a second from first to worst. But 3 championships, if you have that man, it just seems like a totally different, like he's we already know he's one of the best of all time. But that 3rd championship, it really helped. Something's got to change. I'm frustrated. I'm angry. Like, I root for God's sakes, I got IU Hoosier shirt. You know, there's Cincinnati Reds. I'm a bingo season ticket holder. I've been through struggles. Not with Kyle Busch. This is different. I have never watched a race until this past weekend and thought Kyle Busch doesn't have a chance to win. Never felt that way. As soon as I saw practice and it was 31st, I'm like, okay, that's not good. Maybe they just missed their mark. And then he qualified 31st. And I said, he doesn't have a chance in hell. And when the green flag dropped, he was in last place within 2 laps. Are you shitting me, Richard Childress? That's the best you can provide with the greatest race car driver you've had since Dale Earnhardt? That's the best you got? Maybe somebody needs to rattle your cage. Something's got to change. I know you changed the pit crew. Thank God. Kyle could also do himself a favor by not speeding, but let's get this figured out. I want to see a Rowdy 3rd championship. Let's get this figured out. And that's going to do it for the Let's Talk About It. Again, if you made it this far, I would love to have you here all the time. We got shorts, we got betting tips, we got all kinds of stuff. NASCAR news, live post race, everything that you can imagine for a NASCAR. And we'd love for you to be part of the conversation and stay with us. So feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. We'd absolutely love that. And yeah, let's get something figured out so we can continue to root for Rowdy and we don't have to suffer in this misery. So maybe it turns around and this weekend we get a sword to celebrate. But my name is Ryan Peters for Stuck in the Catch Fence, and Let's Talk About It. I'll see you next time.